social distancing is getting to my head, you guys. Oh man, actually, no. Right now, I'm feeling super pumped, really on fire. I just had my first ever motivational speaking event, and it was incredible. Obviously, we did it through Zoom, but the messages that were coming through were so strong that I had to share with you guys. I had to share what was going through because I think it's so powerful for all of us right now to do what we can to stay motivated, to stay positive, and stay inspired with everything that's going on. And so it's important to understand that when nothing is certain, anything is possible. That means that there are infinite possibilities available to us right now and anytime, right? And what we have to do is bring ourselves back into the present moment. The present moment is where we create from, right? If we're worried about the future or we're trapped in the past, we're only in anxiety. And when you're trapped in the past, you're only creating more of the past. So your future is going to look a lot like your past if you're constantly living in the past. So what we want to do is come back into the now moment, and bring our presence there. And a powerful way to cultivate presence is through our breath. It's through meditation. Whatever kind of slows down your mind, because our minds are wired for survival. Our minds are wired to protect us, to think logically, to figure things out, right? But what we really want to do is drop ourselves into our heart space. Because from the heart is where we can tap into creativity. We can tap into love. We can tap into truth. And it really expands us to see things from a different perspective. You see, when you're in your mind, you can only see things in a linear way, in a linear capacity. You can only see what's right in front of you. When you operate from the heart center, and you really tap into that inner knowing, you can see the possibilities. You can see the infinite potential that actually exists for all of us. And especially in the midst of fear and challenge, right? Right now is the time that we have to learn how to navigate fear. We have to learn how to move through this. And fear is just false evidence appearing real. It's actually a projection into a future that hasn't even actually happened. And we project in the future based on our past experiences, right? So what we have to do is recognize, first and foremost, the only thing we have control over is our thoughts. Our thoughts are what create our experience. Not only our experience, but our thoughts create our emotions. So what you're feeling right now, whatever you're feeling, it's not created by the outside world as much as we think it is, as much as we believe it is, or, it appears to impact the way that we feel. It's actually our perception, our interpretation of the experience that is creating the emotion that we're feeling inside. And so the only thing right now you can control is your interpretation of the experience that you're having. So fear, right? Fear is a very visceral feeling. Fear can feel like paralysis, sweating. Our heart rate's really fast. There's a physiological response when we're thinking fearful thoughts, when we're worrying. We feel it very intensely. And fear is one of those things that the only way out is really to move through it, to face it, to embrace it. If you think about a time in your life when you maybe experienced a fear, you had a fear of some sort, how did you get over the fear? You had to move through it, right? You had to feel it. You had to embrace it. And that is the most important thing. To move through fear requires action. Action is how we move things. We move energy, right? You can think all day long about a dream that you have, right? But it's only always going to be a dream unless you take action on it. So it's so important for us to actively take responsibility of our lives, take responsibility of what we're feeling, the emotions that we're having, the thoughts that we're thinking, the beliefs that we're allowing ourselves to feel. Because our belief systems are from our childhood. Like I've talked about on my channel a bunch, the beliefs that you have are shaping your adult experience. And so what you have to do is, again, bring that awareness into your belief systems. Bring the awareness into what it is that you are thinking at any given time. And your emotions are a clear indicator of what you're thinking about. So what you're feeling right now, what am I feeling? Okay, I'm feeling anxious. Why am I feeling anxious? Oh, because I'm worrying. I'm worrying about what tomorrow holds, right? So when you can stop, in that moment, you can pivot. And a great way to stop a negative thought pattern is firstly, just to say, thinking. Anytime you're having a negative thought, just simply go thinking. And you can count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In that moment, you have an option. In that split second, you have an option to continue thinking the thought that is causing you a negative emotion, or you can choose to think of something that's more productive. You can think of something that's more positive. We always have that choice to choose what we're thinking about. And our hearts are really the most powerful tool that we have. So what we're feeling energetically is creating our experience. So what you can do is actually choose consciously to think thoughts that create positive feelings within you. To think thoughts that elicit gratitude and appreciation and love and compassion. And you can do that through visualization. Visualization is a really powerful tool. I highly recommend it. And just to demonstrate the power of your mind, right now, if you hold a lemon out in front of you, right, and you close your eyes, and just imagine taking a bite out of the lemon. Like really start to bring through the flavor of the lemon. Allow yourself to really like embody that experience. And what you'll notice is that most of us will start to salivate, or we'll have like a puckering face, right? Because what's happening is your mind is convincing your body that you are eating a lemon, and therefore your body is going to elicit a physiological response, the salivation, right? That's how powerful your minds are. Our minds are. Literally, what we think, we feel, we become. And what we believe is possible for us is what we take action on. And so when people tend to set goals for themselves, but they don't actually follow through, whether it be a weight loss goal or a business goal or a personal goal, whatever your goal is, if you have a goal and you notice you're the type of person that doesn't follow through with goals, check your belief systems. Because we don't follow through with things that we don't believe are actually possible for us. So what you can do in that instance is, if you have a limiting belief, if there's something that's blocking you right now, find an expander. Find someone or something that is doing whatever it is that you want to do. Find someone that has accomplished the goal that you have for yourself, that has a similar situation, maybe a similar background, has equal amount of struggles. What this does is it actually expands your subconscious mind. It expands your subconscious mind to believe that that is also possible for you. And when you believe it's possible, you will take action. And action is the one piece of the puzzle that for so many people, we just forget that step, right? And a lot of times in manifestation rhetoric, it's just think it, and it's going to happen. Visualize it, and it's going to happen. No, you have to visualize it, and then you have to act. But you want to act inspired, right? You want to take action from a place of being in connection with yourself, being in connection with your authenticity, being in alignment with the truth, which is love. And we do that through our heart center, right? So through the heart center is where we can actually receive divine guidance. We can receive that infinite wisdom that's going to show us, hey, maybe take this next step. Maybe go here, maybe do that, send this email, right? Do some yoga, exercise, drink more water. Whatever that action is for us, we have to be willing to take the step, or we're never going to move, right? We stay right here until we move ourselves, and we move by choice. That is free will. That is essentially free will. So I want to encourage you right now to really start to think about how you're motivating yourself. Think about what you're passionate about. Really tap into that passion. Because when you're in your passion, you're in the flow, right? You're in the receptive, Abraham Hicks calls it the receptive mode. You're in the receptive mode to receive new inspiration, new ideas, new thoughts. Maybe an inner feeling or feelings that you've been suppressing are starting to come up. And as they come up, they dissipate, they clear, they move from your field, they move from your energy system. But we've got to be willing to feel them. We have to be present with our own feelings. We have to be present with our own emotions and our own thoughts so that we're able to process and move through. It's so important. And now is such a great time to really turn our focus inward, to turn it on ourselves. Because nothing outside of you is actually causing what you're feeling. It is your internal world that is creating your experience and creating your feelings. So while it may seem like there is chaos going on outside your door, and the world is crazy, and whatever it is that you're hearing on the news and reading, all of that stuff is going on, but it's your choice whether or not you're allowing it to affect you. Our ability, our responsibility is only the way we respond, right? That's the only thing that we have control over, is our own response to the experiences that we're having. And every experience you have, your response is based on your perception. So we have to be the gatekeepers of our minds, right? We have to be able to take ourselves to a higher vantage point so that we can see the experiences that we're having from a higher perspective, so that we can choose an alternative perspective to the experiences, so that we can see the opportunity in the challenge. But you can't see it when you're in the energy of it. You can't see the solution when you're in the energy of the problem. You got to literally take yourself up out of it. You got to zoom out. Start to see things from that higher perspective. Tap into your higher self. Tap into that inner knowing. Check in with the divine. Ask for guidance. Open your heart. Open your heart to receive the answers, because they're all within you. Every answer you're looking for is within you. But you have to be willing to receive it. And you got to listen. You got to listen. You got to slow down. And right now is such a great time for that. To do that introspection, to slow down, to check in with ourselves. As we move forward into our lives, as this passes, and it will, and we're all going to be okay. And as we get on the other side of this obstacle, we're going to realize what we're capable of. We're going to realize how strong we are and how we persevere through hard times, and how we can come together as one, in unity, have compassion for one another and love one another, and come out this other side being the best versions of ourselves that we can be. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're staying well out there. I'm sending you all so much love, so much light, healing vibes. If you like this channel, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. It really helps to support me. And I appreciate you guys, each and every one of you, for tuning in, for being a part of this channel, being a part of my life. And until next time, bye guys.